He guarded the alien princess from attacks. Now the queen refuses to let him go. The stars stretched across the sky like scattered jewels, each one a distant sun with secrets waiting to be discovered. Captain Aaron Hayes leaned against the railing of the observation deck on the starship Endeavour, staring at the distant world of Lyrathia. He had seen many strange planets in his career, but none quite like this. Towering crystal towers sparkled in the light of Lyrathia's twin suns, and the vast forests glowed with soft, bioluminescent colors that shifted with the wind. It was beautiful, yes, but it was also dangerous. Aaron could sense it. Danger had a rhythm, and he had learned to recognize it after years of service in Earth's interstellar fleet. Aaron was not sure why he had been chosen for this assignment. He had faced hostile alien species before, led missions to secure critical resources, and even survived ambushes that should have ended him. But guarding a single alien princess, an alien royal no less, felt different. He had not trained for diplomacy or politics. He had trained to protect, to fight, to survive. And yet, here he was, assigned to Princess Kelara, heir to the Lyrathian throne, tasked with keeping her alive in a world that seemed more like a living maze than a civilization. The ship's communication panel beeped softly, drawing his attention. A holographic image flickered to life, showing the princess herself. Kelara was unlike anyone Aaron had ever seen. Her skin shimmered faintly, with a pearlescent quality that caught the light, and her eyes glowed a gentle violet, reflecting both intelligence and curiosity. Her expression was serious, but there was a spark of mischief hidden beneath the surface. "Captain Hayes," she said, her voice calm but firm, "I hope you are prepared. Lyrathia is not as welcoming as the reports suggest. You will need to be vigilant. My enemies do not reveal themselves easily. My job is to keep you safe, nothing else." Bridges made of light connected the towers, and small vehicles zipped between them like fireflies. From the outside, the city seemed serene, even magical, but Aaron's instincts screamed caution. This world was advanced, yes, but advanced civilizations often hid dangers beneath layers of beauty. The ship landed in a wide courtyard carved from crystal, the ground glowing faintly underfoot. Lyrathian guards in flowing robes of silver and violet greeted them, bowing deeply to Kelara. Aaron noted the subtle weapons hidden in their belts and the precise movements in their gestures. These people were disciplined, trained, and proud. He could respect that. Kelara stepped off the ship gracefully, her presence commanding attention without demanding it. Aaron followed closely, scanning the surroundings. He had learned early in his career that the moment a soldier relaxes is the moment danger strikes. He would not make that mistake here. As they walked through the streets toward the royal palace, Aaron noticed the subtleties of the city. Tiny drones flitted overhead, some observing, some carrying messages or monitoring traffic. Energy shields shimmered faintly around certain buildings, indicating high-security zones. He made mental notes of exits, potential ambush points, and vantage locations. Every city had patterns. Every city had weaknesses. His job was to find them before anyone else did. Kelara spoke quietly, almost as if testing him. "Do you understand why my father sent a human to guard me? Surely your people are not the only ones capable of loyalty. Perhaps your people offer something different, something we have forgotten." The palace was a marvel of architecture, rising like a crown above the city. Crystalline spires reflected the sunlight, creating a dazzling display that made the city appear alive. Inside, the hallways were wide and smooth, lined with glowing murals depicting Lyrathian history. Guards patrolled silently, their movements coordinated like a well-rehearsed dance. Aaron noted every detail. Escape routes, choke points, security measures, all would be important if trouble arose. That trouble came sooner than he expected. During a ceremonial reception in Kelara's honor, Aaron noticed subtle shifts in the crowd. Certain individuals avoided his gaze, whispered quickly, or adjusted their positions as if waiting for a signal. Aaron's hand never left the hilt of his sidearm. The moment someone moved with intent to harm the princess, he would respond. A loud explosion shook the hall. Crystal chandeliers trembled and shattered, raining shards of light over the guests. Panic erupted and Aaron's instincts took over. He grabbed Kalara, pulling her toward a side exit while assessing the threat. Small drones, armed with energy weapons, had infiltrated the hall. The attackers were precise, trained, and organized. But Aaron's training, combined with his human intuition, allowed him to stay ahead of their movements. He disarmed a drone with a swift kick, caught a falling piece of debris before it struck the princess, and used the chaos to create a path toward safety. Kalara's eyes widened, but not with fear. She watched Aaron with a mixture of awe and trust. "You are faster than any guard I have seen," she said over the noise. Aaron grunted, keeping his focus on the drones. "It's not speed alone. It's knowing where danger will come from before it arrives." Aaron took a deep breath, scanning the room through the cracks in the structure. The attackers were regrouping, recalculating. They would strike again in seconds. "You are remarkable," Kalara said softly, watching him. "Humans, you think differently. You act when others hesitate. Observation, experience, and a bit of luck. That's all it takes to survive." What should have been chaos became a controlled retreat, a dance where every step had purpose. Finally, they reached a secure chamber deep within the palace, a room designed for emergencies. The walls hummed with protective energy, shielding them from further attacks. Aaron allowed himself a moment to relax, but his eyes never stopped scanning. Danger might have been temporarily halted, but it was never truly gone. Kalara turned to him, her expression serious. "I underestimated you, Captain. Not because I doubted your abilities, but because I did not realize the depth of human courage. You are extraordinary. That's all." And in that moment, his actions had spoken louder than anything else. As the palace settled back into a tense calm, Aaron began to understand the true nature of his mission. This was not merely about guarding a princess. It was about representing humanity in a world that had not fully learned to value it. Every decision he made, every risk he took, could shape not only the fate of Kalara, but also the perception of humans across the galaxy. Kalara, despite her youth, seemed to sense this as well. She moved with a newfound respect, no longer just a royal figure protected by protocol, but an ally recognizing the power of human ingenuity and courage. Together, they formed a bond rooted in trust, necessity, and the silent understanding that their fates were intertwined. By the time night fell over Lyrathia, casting the crystal towers in a soft glow, Aaron stood once again on the observation deck, looking out over the city. He felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders, but he also felt a spark of something unfamiliar: hope. This world was strange, dangerous, and beautiful, but he had already begun to carve a place for humanity within it. Princess Kalara approached silently, standing beside him. "The city is alive," she said softly. "Do you feel it? I'll do everything I can to protect it. Not the princess, not the people, and not the legacy of his own kind." As the twin suns set over the horizon, painting the sky in shades of violet and gold, Aaron Hayes stood vigilant, the human guardian in an alien world. The mission had only just begun, and already the galaxy was beginning to notice the impact of one human's courage. And somewhere deep within the city, shadows stirred. Enemies were watching, waiting for the right moment. But Aaron had seen the first moves of the game, and he would be ready. The night settled around Lyrathia, but within its crystal heart, the story of human resilience and bravery was just beginning to shine. The city of Lyrathia had quieted, but the tension that lingered in the air was heavy and unyielding. Captain Aaron Hayes had spent the night reviewing every detail of the previous attack, walking through the palace corridors as if the walls themselves could whisper secrets. He had observed, memorized, and analyzed patterns, noting weak points in the palace defenses and potential exit routes in case of another emergency. Lyrathia was a marvel, no doubt, but beauty and danger often walked side by side, and he was determined to ensure that nothing could harm Princess Kelara under his watch. Kelara herself moved through the halls with a calm composure, but Aaron could tell she was not entirely at ease. Despite her royal training, the attack had shaken her. The rogue faction, known as the Eclipse Order, was relentless, and they clearly had intelligence about the palace layout. Aaron had sensed it immediately. The way the drones had avoided certain corridors, the precision of their strikes, the timing that suggested careful planning. Whoever had sent them knew the city, or someone in it. Aaron found Kelara in a study overlooking the city. She was staring out at the glowing towers, her hands resting lightly on the crystal railing. "Do you think they will come again?" she asked quietly, her voice steady but tinged with concern. "They will," Aaron said plainly. "And they won't stop until they've taken what they want. We need to be ready for the next move." But this is not just about survival. It is about protecting the future of Lyrathia itself. My people depend on me, and I depend on you. One that anticipates every possibility, because the moment we react, it may already be too late. He worked alongside Kelara's advisors, who were initially skeptical of a human soldier's insight into their world, and soon they were nodding at his observations. His human perspective, practical, adaptive, unpredictable, added value that no Lyrathian protocol could provide. As night fell, a subtle alarm hummed through the palace. Aaron's senses sharpened immediately. "Something is happening," he said. "Be ready." Aaron could sense the tension in the air, the careful balance of danger and patience. "Stay behind me," he said to Kelara, drawing her slightly closer as he led her toward a concealed exit. "They're testing our response. We need to control the engagement." He anticipated every angle the attackers might take, setting subtle traps using the environment, shards of crystal, loose panels, and reflective surfaces to confuse and disorient the enemy. His human creativity turned ordinary palace features into tools for survival. The attackers struck, but Aaron was ready. With swift, precise movements, he intercepted their approach, using both physical skill and tactical cunning to neutralize the threat. Kelara followed his instructions perfectly, moving in a way that complemented his strategy. It was not just a display of brute force. It was a coordinated effort, a demonstration of human adaptability combined with Lyrathian precision. When the skirmish ended, the intruders had been driven back and the palace remained secure. Kelara turned to Aaron, her expression one of admiration. "You are more than I expected," she said softly. "Your actions, they are not just protection. They inspire confidence. My people will see that, even if they do not yet understand your ways. Survival is important, but confidence and trust, they are what keep people united in the face of danger." Many of the Lyrathian guards were skeptical at first, unused to the unconventional approaches he suggested. But as practice drills progressed, it became clear that the human methods complemented their structured training, creating a more formidable defense than either could achieve alone. During one training session, Aaron noticed subtle signs of unrest among the palace staff. Whispers behind closed doors, glances exchanged in corridors, and small anomalies in routine suggested that the threat was more complex than mere insurgents. Aaron approached Kelara privately. "We need to consider the possibility of betrayal from within. Someone here may be aiding the Eclipse Order. You think one of my advisors would turn against me? I have not seen such insight before, even among the most skilled Lyrathians." Aaron's presence became not only a shield but a catalyst, inspiring others to take initiative, to act decisively, and to trust in their own capabilities. The palace, once a symbol of elegance and routine, transformed into a bastion of vigilance and resilience. One evening, as they reviewed patrol routes in the observation deck overlooking the city, Kelara spoke quietly. "Captain, do you ever feel out of place here, among so many who are not human?" "You are teaching me more than protection, Captain. You are teaching me to think differently, to see possibilities I had not considered. I am beginning to understand why my father chose you. We're going outside. Aaron's human ingenuity came into play. He led Kelara through narrow passages, using reflective surfaces to redirect drone sensors, creating false pathways and confusing the attackers. At one point, he activated a crystal column, sending a burst of energy that temporarily disabled several drones. Kelara followed without hesitation, executing the plan flawlessly. They reached a secluded courtyard, where Aaron realized the attackers had underestimated human unpredictability. He used the environment creatively, leveraging gravity shifts from nearby devices, creating barriers from fallen crystal panels, and improvising traps that neutralized the enemy's technology. One by one, the attackers fell back, unable to anticipate Aaron's unconventional strategies. Kelara's admiration deepened. "You think faster than anyone I have ever known," she said. "Your mind, it is a weapon as powerful as any you carry. That's what makes us dangerous when we are underestimated." They sat in the quiet of the palace garden, the glow of bioluminescent plants casting soft light around them. "Captain Hayes," she said softly, "I have faced danger before, but never like this. Your presence, it changes everything. I feel safer knowing you are here. But I won't lie, there is a part of me that fights harder because it matters to you. Not just because I am ordered to, but because I want to see you safe. Not just to protect, but to remind others that courage and ingenuity are not limited to any one species." Kelara's trust was not blind. It was earned through action, and that trust became a bond that neither enemy nor circumstance could easily break. In that moment, standing beneath the alien sky with the princess by his side, Aaron Hayes realized something profound. Humanity had the power to shape the destiny of worlds, not through domination, but through courage, intelligence, and the unwillingness to surrender in the face of danger. And so, with the galaxy watching and enemies plotting in the shadows, a human soldier and an alien princess prepared for the challenges ahead. Their bond, forged in trust and tested by danger, would prove to be the foundation of a story that no one, not even the most advanced civilizations, could ignore. The days that followed the attack were tense and uncertain. The Palace of Lyrathia, once a place of elegance and ceremony, had become a hub of vigilance and preparation. Captain Aaron Hayes moved through the crystal corridors with purpose, his eyes constantly scanning for the faintest sign of danger. Princess Kelara was always close by, her presence both a responsibility and a challenge. She was no ordinary royal. Her intelligence, courage, and determination were remarkable, and Aaron found himself learning from her just as much as she learned from him. The Eclipse Order had not given up. Aaron had anticipated their return, and each day he watched for patterns, subtle signals, and anomalies in the palace routine. He worked closely with Kelara, coordinating patrols, teaching Lyrathian guards unconventional tactics, and reinforcing the security systems. Yet the threat was more than just physical, it was psychological. The attackers wanted to make the princess doubt her safety, to undermine the confidence of those around her. Aaron knew that defeating them required more than strength. It required strategy, intelligence, and the ability to remain calm under pressure. One afternoon, while reviewing patrol schedules with Kelara in a quiet chamber, Aaron noticed something unusual. A member of the palace staff had been behaving strangely, lingering too long in secure areas, exchanging whispered messages with unknown figures, and subtly altering patrol routes. "Princess," he said quietly, drawing her attention, "someone inside the palace is working with the Eclipse Order. This is not just an external threat anymore." I had hoped my advisors were loyal, but perhaps, even among those closest to me, human unpredictability can see what we might miss. Aaron instructed Kelara to continue her public appearances, maintaining the illusion of normalcy. Meanwhile, Aaron and a small team of trusted guards monitored suspicious individuals, setting traps and observing behavior. The palace, though large and complex, was a playground for his tactical mind. Every corridor, every door, every hidden corner became part of a larger strategy, a chessboard on which human ingenuity could outmaneuver Lyrathian precision. Days passed in this tense routine, and Aaron and Kelara's bond deepened. They trained together, sharing strategies and discussing the history, culture, and politics of Lyrathia. Kelara was fascinated by Aaron's perspective, the way humans approached problems, valued creativity, and adapted to unexpected circumstances. In turn, Aaron admired her courage, her sharp intellect, and her willingness to trust someone from a species so different from her own. One evening, as the twin suns dipped below the horizon and cast long shadows across the city, Aaron and Kelara were walking through the palace gardens. The air was cool, carrying the faint glow of bioluminescent plants that lined the paths. "Captain," Kelara said softly, "do you ever regret being here, being so far from home, from Earth?" "No," he said after a moment. "Every day here is a challenge. Every day I learn something new. And every day I see the difference one person can make. Here, I can make a difference. That is rare, even for a Lyrathian." "It's happening again." Drones buzzed silently through the air, and figures in sleek armor moved with precision, testing the palace's weak points. Aaron's mind worked like a machine, analyzing, predicting, improvising. He used every tool at his disposal: reflective surfaces to misdirect drone sensors, loose crystal panels to create barriers, and quick maneuvers to intercept attackers before they could reach the princess. Kelara followed his instructions flawlessly, moving with a precision that complemented his improvisation. Together, they formed a partnership that neither human nor Lyrathian could have anticipated. In one tense moment, Aaron realized the attackers had anticipated a conventional defense. They had set traps along standard patrol routes. Using his knowledge of unpredictability, he led the princess along an unconventional path, forcing the attackers into positions where their own weapons became liabilities. A drone crashed into a crystal column, disabling several attackers at once. Kelara's eyes widened in admiration. "You think in ways no one else does," she said, her voice tinged with awe. Aaron kept moving, never taking his eyes off the threat. "Thinking differently is what keeps humans alive," he replied. "We adapt, we improvise, that's our strength." Aaron used the environment creatively, sending attackers into blind spots, creating temporary shields from fallen debris, and using energy pulses to disable equipment. Each move showcased not just physical skill but intellectual agility, a human mind capable of seeing patterns, anticipating threats, and turning danger into advantage. Finally, the attackers were forced to retreat, their plans thwarted by a combination of Lyrathian discipline and human ingenuity. The palace was safe for now. Kelara turned to Aaron, her eyes filled with gratitude and admiration. "Captain Hayes, I have never seen anyone fight like that. Not in my world, not in any history books. You are extraordinary." "I'm just doing my job, but I won't lie, there's more to it than that. I fight because it matters. Not because of orders, but because it matters to you. That makes a difference." Even the most skeptical officers recognized that his unconventional methods had been the difference between survival and disaster. A human soldier, they realized, could offer something beyond what their own training allowed: a spark of unpredictability, a willingness to adapt, and courage that inspired others to act. As the night settled over Lyrathia, Aaron and Kelara returned to the palace. The twin moons cast a soft glow across the crystal towers, reflecting in 1,000 facets of light. They walked in silence for a while, each lost in thought. Aaron considered the attackers, the patterns, and the internal betrayal that had facilitated the assault. Kelara thought about her people, the fragility of trust, and the remarkable human who had become her shield. Finally, Kelara spoke. "Captain, do you realize what you have done here? You have not only protected me but also changed the way my people view humanity. They see you and understand that your kind is capable of more than we imagined. You inspire confidence, courage, and hope. That is no small feat. Humanity has strengths that are often overlooked, and sometimes showing those strengths is enough to change the course of events. That is rare, even in Lyrathia. Over the next few days, Aaron focused on both preparation and observation. He monitored palace staff, looking for further signs of betrayal. He trained the guards in human tactics, showing them how to improvise and adapt under pressure. And he continued to teach Kelara not only about survival, but about thinking beyond convention, seeing possibilities that others might overlook, and trusting in her instincts as much as in his guidance. The bond between Aaron and Kelara deepened. It was built on trust, respect, and the shared understanding that they were stronger together than apart. The princess began to rely not only on his physical protection, but also on his advice, insight, and perspective. Aaron, in turn, found purpose in a way he had never experienced. He was not just a soldier following orders. He was a guardian, a strategist, and a force that could shape the future of a civilization. Then, one evening, as the palace rested under the gentle glow of the twin moons, Aaron and Kelara received intelligence of a new threat. A large contingent of Eclipse Order forces had been detected approaching the city, armed with advanced weaponry and accompanied by skilled operatives. This time it was not a test, it was an all-out attempt to strike at the heart of Lyrathia and seize the princess. Aaron assessed the situation calmly. This is bigger than before. We will need every advantage we have, every tactic, every ally, every trick. But we can stop them. We have to. Together. And as he looked at the princess standing beside him, ready to face the coming storm, he realized that their partnership was more than duty. It was a testament to the potential of humans to influence the galaxy in ways others could not. And so, with the city on alert and danger approaching, Aaron Hayes prepared once again to defend not only a princess, but the very future of Lyrathia, proving that human ingenuity and courage were forces to be reckoned with, no matter how alien the world or how formidable the enemy. The city of Lyrathia was tense. The twin suns had long since set, and the glowing towers reflected the soft light of the bioluminescent forests below. Inside the palace, preparations for the impending threat were underway. Captain Aaron Hayes moved through the halls with the calm authority of someone who had faced countless dangers. But tonight, the stakes were higher than ever. The Eclipse Order had not only grown bolder but had become more organized and better equipped. Their goal was clear: capture Princess Kelara and destabilize the very heart of Lyrathia. Aaron had spent days analyzing intelligence reports, mapping potential attack routes, and reinforcing the palace defenses. He had trained the Lyrathian guards in human strategies, teaching them to think beyond rigid routines and adapt to rapidly changing situations. The palace, once a symbol of elegance, had become a fortress of vigilance. Every corridor, every courtyard, every hidden passage had been considered in Aaron's plans. He understood the city in ways even the most seasoned Lyrathian officers did not, and that gave him an edge the enemy could not anticipate. Kelara approached him in the strategy room, her violet eyes reflecting the glow of the holographic map that displayed the palace and the surrounding city. "Captain Hayes," she said, her voice steady, "do you truly believe we can stop them this time? Their numbers, their weapons, it is unlike anything we have faced before. More than anyone else in this world." Aaron sensed it immediately, skilled operatives moving swiftly and quietly, avoiding detection by cameras and drones. He alerted the guards, positioning them in locations that maximized their effectiveness without exposing them to unnecessary danger. Kelara followed his instructions closely, moving with the precision of someone who understood the stakes and the methods of a soldier who never hesitated. The attackers struck with precision. Drones buzzed overhead, scanning for weaknesses, while armored figures attempted to breach the palace gates. Aaron's response was immediate. He coordinated the palace defenders, using tactics that combined human adaptability with Lyrathian discipline. Reflective surfaces and crystal panels created false paths, directing attackers into areas where they could be isolated and neutralized. Energy pulses temporarily disabled drones, and clever use of gravity shifts and barriers slowed the advance of the armored figures. Through it all, Kelara remained calm, her presence a steadying influence on those around her. She moved with confidence, following Aaron's guidance while making decisions of her own when opportunities arose. Their teamwork became a dance of strategy, instinct, and improvisation, a combination that the attackers had not anticipated and could not overcome. At one point, Aaron noticed a group of attackers attempting to infiltrate from a hidden entrance he had predicted. Using his knowledge of human improvisation, he led Kelara through an unconventional path, drawing the attackers into a trap that turned their own technology against them. Drones collided with energy barriers, and the armored figures were forced into positions where their weapons became ineffective. Aaron's mind worked with lightning speed, calculating angles, distances, and possibilities with every movement. When the immediate threat subsided, the palace was secure, but the danger was far from over. Aaron knew the attackers would regroup, learn from their mistakes, and strike again. Kelara looked at him with a mixture of admiration and concern. "Captain Hayes, you have done the impossible. You have protected me and shown our people that humans are not merely visitors in our world. Your courage, your mind, it is extraordinary. Humans survive by adapting, by thinking differently, by refusing to give up. That is all." She had been observing the situation with quiet authority, and her eyes now fell upon Aaron. The Queen's gaze was piercing, assessing, and filled with the weight of centuries of tradition. "Captain Hayes," she said, her voice calm but commanding, "you have shown exceptional skill and bravery. Your actions have saved my daughter and our city, but there is something more. You have changed the way we see humans. You are not merely a protector, you are a guardian of our future." It was a realization that struck him deeply. The human potential for courage, intelligence, and adaptability was being recognized on a world far beyond Earth. Queen Alara continued, her voice softer now, yet still carrying authority. "I will not lie, Captain Hayes. My advisors and I have discussed your presence here. We fear that the bond you share with Kelara may complicate her role as future queen, yet we cannot deny your value. You are indispensable. You will remain here, not as a mere soldier, but as a protector and advisor. The palace, the city, and my daughter, they all rely on you." He had thought of returning to Earth, to the life he knew after completing his mission, but now he understood that his role was far greater than a single assignment. Humanity had a place here, and he had become a bridge between two worlds. Kelara stepped forward, her expression resolute. "Captain Hayes, I support the Queen's decision. Your presence is not only necessary but invaluable. I trust no one else to stand by my side to protect Lyrathia and to guide us in ways we have never imagined. You are human, yes, but that is what makes you extraordinary. You are unlike any Lyrathian, and for that, we are grateful. Not just for you, but for your people and for the future of this world." He helped anticipate potential threats, both internal and external, and created contingency plans that no Lyrathian had previously considered. The city of Lyrathia began to notice the difference. Citizens spoke of the human guardian who had faced impossible odds and prevailed, inspiring confidence in the royal family and among the people. Even the palace staff, once skeptical of a foreign soldier, now respected him for his skill, intelligence, and unwavering loyalty. Aaron had become more than a protector. He had become a symbol of human capability, ingenuity, and courage. One night, as he patrolled the palace grounds, Aaron and Kelara walked together under the soft glow of the twin moons. "Captain," Kelara said quietly, "I never imagined that humans could be so influential. Your presence has changed the way we think, the way we act. You have shown that courage and intelligence are not limited by species, and that inspires us all. And sometimes, showing that strength is enough to change the course of events. If that day comes, I hope it will be because humans showed that courage, intelligence, and loyalty matter, no matter the world. He had become a part of Lyrathia, an integral force in the protection and guidance of a civilization that had once seemed beyond his reach. And in doing so, he had proven that humans were capable of remarkable achievements, not through technology alone, but through ingenuity, courage, and an unwavering commitment to what mattered most. Queen Alara's decision was clear. Aaron Hayes would not return to Earth. He would remain on Lyrathia, a human among aliens, a symbol of the strengths his species possessed, and a guardian whose loyalty and intelligence could not be matched. The galaxy was beginning to understand something important. Humans were not just another species. They were capable of shaping worlds, influencing civilizations, and inspiring courage wherever they went. And as Aaron stood once again beside Princess Kalara, looking over the glowing towers of Lyrathia, he knew that the greatest battles were still ahead, but so too were the greatest opportunities. Together, they would face whatever came next, proving that humanity's brilliance and courage were forces the galaxy could not ignore. The city of Lyrathia was alive with energy, but not all of it was visible to the untrained eye. Captain Aaron Hayes could feel it, the subtle tension that lingered in the streets, the silent watchfulness of the palace guards, and the quiet anticipation of the people. After weeks of attacks by the Eclipse Order, Lyrathia was on high alert, and every citizen, every soldier, and every member of the royal household was preparing for the next confrontation. But Aaron did not feel fear. He felt readiness. The human ability to anticipate, adapt, and improvise had been tested repeatedly, and each time they had prevailed. Tonight would be no different. Aaron stood with Princess Kalara on the palace balcony, overlooking the city. The towers glimmered under the twin moons, their crystal surfaces reflecting soft lights that danced across the streets below. Kalara's violet eyes were sharp, focused, and determined. She had grown stronger in these weeks, her courage tempered by experience, and Aaron could see the spark of leadership that would soon define her reign. "They will come tonight," Aaron said quietly, "and they will be more prepared than ever, but we are ready. We have planned for every possibility, and we have trained for situations no one else could handle. It's not just about surviving, Princess. It's about showing them that humans and all those willing to fight for what is right cannot be underestimated. We don't give up. We adapt, we think, and we act. That is how we win." Sensors indicated movement in multiple directions, an approaching force large enough to pose a serious threat, with technology sophisticated enough to challenge the palace's defenses. But Aaron's human intuition allowed him to process the situation faster than any automated system could. He began issuing instructions with calm authority. "Positions now," he ordered. "Kalara, stay with me. Guards, split into units and cover the perimeter. Do not engage until I give the signal. Watch for patterns, anticipate their moves, and remember, adapt, improvise, survive." But Aaron had anticipated this. His human unpredictability, combined with the rigorous training of Lyrathian guards, turned the palace into a labyrinth for the attackers. Aaron used every advantage the environment offered. Reflective crystal panels misdirected the drone's sensors, energy barriers created temporary safe zones, and gravity shifts disrupted the attackers' coordination. When armored figures attempted to advance through hallways, Aaron had already redirected them into traps, using fallen crystal debris and controlled energy pulses to disable their technology. Each move was calculated, adaptive, and impossible to predict. Kalara followed his instructions perfectly, her confidence evident in her movements. She was no longer the inexperienced princess from weeks ago. She was a leader in her own right, capable of making split-second decisions and anticipating the enemy's actions. Together, They formed a partnership that was greater than the sum of its parts, a human mind capable of improvisation, and an alien intellect tempered by centuries of discipline. The battle raged through the palace, a mix of strategy, instinct, and improvisation. Aaron anticipated the attackers' tactics, using deception and misdirection to divide their forces. Drones collided with barriers, and armored operatives found themselves isolated and overwhelmed by unexpected traps. Aaron's calm, decisive actions inspired the Lyrathian guards, who moved with precision but also adapted in ways they never had before. The human influence was undeniable. In the midst of the conflict, Aaron identified the leader of the Eclipse Order, a figure skilled, determined, and dangerously intelligent. The leader attempted to strike directly at the princess, believing that eliminating her would break the palace's defenses. But Aaron was faster. He intercepted the attack with a combination of tactical skill and creative improvisation, using both physical prowess and environmental advantages to neutralize the threat. Kelara watched in awe. "You are more than a protector, Captain," she whispered. "You are a force of nature. Your mind, it is a weapon that no enemy can predict. That is what makes humans dangerous in ways no technology can match." Aaron's actions had not only saved lives, but had also demonstrated that humans could influence the course of events in ways others could not anticipate. Queen Alara arrived at the scene shortly after the battle, her expression a mixture of relief and admiration. She observed Aaron closely, her eyes taking in the calculated precision and calm authority that had defined his actions. "Captain Hayes," she said, her voice steady, "you have proven yourself beyond any expectation. Not only have you protected my daughter and our city, but you have shown that humans possess qualities that even we must respect: creativity, courage, and adaptability. You are indispensable. I am only fulfilling my duty. You will remain here, not merely as a protector, but as an advisor and a vital presence within the palace." Humanity had a place here, and he had become a bridge between worlds, showing that courage, intelligence, and adaptability could transcend species. Kelara stepped forward, her expression resolute. "Captain Hayes, I support the Queen's decision. Your presence is necessary, not just for me, but for all of Lyrathia. Your human perspective, your courage, and your intelligence are invaluable. You have shown that humans are capable of more than we ever imagined. I trust no one else to stand by my side, to guide us, and to protect this world. Humanity may be distant from here, but we can make a difference, and that is what I intend to do." His human perspective brought fresh ideas that complemented Lyrathian precision, creating a level of preparedness and adaptability that no enemy could match. The city of Lyrathia began to notice the difference. Citizens spoke of the human guardian who had faced impossible odds and emerged victorious. Stories spread of his ingenuity, courage, and unwavering commitment to protecting the princess and the city. Even the most skeptical Lyrathian officers and advisors began to acknowledge that Aaron's presence had transformed the palace and the city into a force capable of withstanding any threat. One evening, as the palace rested under the glow of the twin moons, Aaron and Kelara walked together through the gardens. The air was cool, carrying the soft glow of bioluminescent plants. "Captain," Kelara said softly, "you have changed the way we think. Humans, you bring a new perspective, a new strength. You have proven that courage and intelligence are not limited by species. That inspires all of us. Perhaps one day, humans will not just be allies, they will be partners in shaping the galaxy." The Eclipse Order, though still a threat, had been forced to reconsider their approach. Aaron's strategies, combined with Lyrathian discipline, had proven that human ingenuity could outmatch even the most organized and technologically advanced foes. His presence was no longer questioned. It was essential. Queen Alara formally recognized Aaron's contributions in a ceremony attended by the royal family and the palace staff. She praised his courage, intelligence, and adaptability, and announced that he would remain in Lyrathia as a permanent guardian and advisor. Aaron accepted the honor with humility, understanding that his role was not only to protect, but to represent humanity's potential in a galaxy full of diverse civilizations. Kelara approached him privately after the ceremony. "Captain Hayes, you have shown that humans are capable of extraordinary things. You have saved lives, protected my city, and inspired my people. You are a hero, not just to Lyrathia, but to all who value courage and ingenuity." He had come to Lyrathia as a soldier, assigned to protect a princess. But he had become so much more, a symbol of human resilience, ingenuity, and courage, a guardian whose loyalty could not be matched, and a force capable of inspiring an entire civilization. The galaxy was watching, and humanity had arrived, not as conquerors, not as mere visitors, but as a species capable of extraordinary heroism, capable of shaping worlds, and capable of standing shoulder to shoulder with the most advanced civilizations. Aaron Hayes smiled quietly to himself. The stars above Lyrathia shone like distant promises, and he knew that as long as humans remained courageous, intelligent, and adaptable, there was no challenge they could not face. With Kelara by his side and the city secure, he was ready for whatever came next. The human guardian had proven his worth, and now the galaxy would never forget it.